most people throughout history did not believe in universal human rights or in the furtherance of humanity. Instead, people tended to focus on improving the lot of their particular tribe or group or family, or even just themselves. And that was if they had the luxury of contemplating the future at all. Often, they were forced to focus all of their energy on their immediate needs and survival, struggling to get by one day at a time. But the ideals I've just described, while new in the grand scheme of human history, are increasingly embraced, reflected in statements such as the UN Millennium Development Goals, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Not all progress constitutes progress in human rights, of course. There is no right to happiness or to a healthy life, not least because there is no way to guarantee those outcomes. But the extent of overlap between the list I've stated and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is nonetheless significant and appropriate. The theme of this week is to explore human rights issues across the globe, including the gains made since the UN's Declaration of Human Rights. So I want to start by bringing your attention to the gains, both since that momentous, if imperfect, declaration, and stretching back farther to the Enlightenment that laid the foundation for the very idea of universal human rights, and have made it so that today, despite the great diversity of beliefs and ideologies that continue to define humanity, the vast majority of people are able to converge upon some shared universal values. While not everyone will agree on what defines human progress or moral progress or what constitutes a human right, and there can be intense debate on these topics, even among similarly minded folks, reasonable people like the attendees of this today. People from a great many different backgrounds can usually agree that the basics I've just described are about as non-controversial a starting point as you can get for understanding progress. But before we get into the weeds of defining human rights and sorting it out from broader progress, by this expansive and hopefully relatively non-controversial definition of progress, has there been any improvement, moral, material, or otherwise? Well, the good news is, while there is certainly more room for further improvement and always will be, evidence from individual scholars, academic institutions, and respected international organizations all show dramatic improvements in human well-being over the long run throughout much of the world. Progress is not only definable, but also measurable.